Let's start with Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let's do some Radha Jap. Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha, Radha, Shri Radha. Yes. We are reading Bhagwat Geeta as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are in chapter 3, text 3. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjun, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical philosophical speculation and others by devotional service. Yes, let's read the purport. In the second chapter, verse 39, the Lord explained two kinds of procedures, namely Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. In this verse, the Lord explains the same more clearly. Sankhya Yoga, or the analytical study of the nature of spirit and matter, is the subject matter for persons who are inclined to speculate and understand things by experimental knowledge, like scientists, yes, and philosophy. So they want to understand things by experimental knowledge and philosophy. The other class of men work in Krishna consciousness. Yes, as it is explained in the 61st verse of the second chapter. The Lord has explained also in the 39th verse that by working by the principles of Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can be relieved from the bonds of action. And furthermore, there is no flaw in the process. Yes. So we are not, when we are in Krishna consciousness, we work in full faith and we work what we feel like working on. Because the feeling, the thoughts come directly from God. And then we never question, will this have a good result? Will this have a bad result? What I'm doing is correct? What I'm doing is wrong? These doubts will never come. And so there will be no question to justify it with any kind of philosophy, right? But people who are not in Krishna consciousness and who understand or try to do self realization only by experience or by philosophy that they have understood since their according to their understanding, that too according to their understanding, they will always remain attached and bonded. The same principle is more clearly explained in the 61st verse, that this buddhi yoga, that is karma yoga, is to depend entirely on the Supreme, or more specifically on Krishna. And in this way, all the senses can be brought under control very easily. Therefore, both the yogas are interdependent as religion and philosophy. Religion without philosophy is sentiment or sometimes fantasism, while philosophy without religion is mental speculation. Yes. So philosophy is a derivation of your religion. So philosophy without religion will be like a mental speculation. जब आप mental speculation करते हो और फिर उसमें religion भी आपको support करता है, तब वो सही philosophy बनती है. The ultimate goal is Krishna, because the philosophers who are also sincerely searching after the absolute truth come in the end to Krishna. Come in the end to Krishna consciousness. Yes, जो ultimately mental speculation करके scientists जो experiment करके everyone finally realizes the same thing about the absolute truth. So either you go this way or that way, you will come to absolute truth only. But of course, the Krishna conscious way is the faster way. This is also stated in Bhagwat Geeta. The whole process is to understand the real position of the self in real in relation to the superself. The indirect process is philosophical speculation by which gradually one may come to the point of Krishna consciousness, and the other process is directly connecting everything with Krishna in Krishna consciousness. Of these two, the path of Krishna consciousness is better because it does not depend on purifying the senses by the philosophical process. So, basically, purifying our senses means like I had explained yesterday, that purifying a sense means basically let's say you love to eat, you have taste buds. Now you've eaten so much that now you don't feel the joy in eating. हाँ अभी इतने सालों से ये खा चुके हैं हम लोग, इसमें ये खा के और क्या मजा मिलेगा. So now you have reach that peak that your senses are gratified fully, and now it doesn't mean anything to you. Okay, so that is what we call is purifying the sense. But this purification, what you will do, you will do it through your experiments and reach there. Whereas when you do Krishna consciousness, you have already purified it. You will reach there faster. Krishna consciousness is itself the purifying process, and by the direct method of devotional service, it is simultaneously easy and sublime. Sublime is very important because it has to land soft on you. If something you're doing and you are feeling heavy by doing it, it's not gonna work for a long time. So tomorrow, if I ask you to stop having sweets, it will not land properly in your head. But when you yourself feel like, okay, no, I should give up this because it is going to be good for me, it is going to be good for this body which has been gifted by God, then you see the change, the confidence, the stability. So it's going to be sublime, it's going to be soft, and it's going to be there for a long time. You will be able to do it also. Let's move to text 4. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. Yes, this is very important. Let's read the purport. The renounced order of life can be accepted when one has been purified by the discharge of the prescribed form of duties which are laid down just to purify the hearts of materialistic men. Yeah. Without purification, one cannot attain success by abruptly adopting the fourth order of life, that is sannyas. So, sannyas is a stage of life, it's a mental stage where you read. So, sannyas is also being minimalist. So, you can be sannyas also in grihast. So, it's just a state of mind that whatever I need minimum to survive and move ahead with my Krishna consciousness. So this is something which you attain by purifying your senses, and then finally you are in that stage. You cannot just one fine day go in the jungle and say I am sannyasi. It's not going to work. Okay. According to the empirical philosophers, simply by adopting sannyas or retiring from fruitive activities, one at once becomes as good as Narayan. But Lord Krishna does not approve this principle. Without purification of heart, I repeat, without purification of heart, sannyas is simply a disturbance to the social order. Yes. On the other hand, yes, it's going to disturb other people who are associated with you. Like one fine day, if you just go away and live alone, it's gonna be difficult for your family, for your friends, for your other people who depend on you. So it is going to be a disturbance. On the other hand, if someone takes to the transcendental service of the Lord, even without discharging his prescribed duties, whatever he may be able to advance in the cause is accepted by Lord. Swa alpam, sorry, Swa alpam apai asya, Swa alpam apya asya dharmasya trayate, trayate mahato bhayat. Even in slight performance of such a principle enables one to overcome great difficulties. Yes. Even if we just put even 1% of Krishna consciousness in our day to day life, it's going to make a huge impact. Let's move to text 5. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Yes, this is the helplessness of our body and life. Let's read the purport. It is not a question of embodied life, but it is the nature of the soul to be always active. Yes. Without the presence of the spirit soul, the material body cannot move. The body is only a dead vehicle to be worked by the spirit soul, which is always active and cannot stop even for a moment. As such, the spirit soul has to be engaged in the good work of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it will be engaged in occupations dictated by the illusory energy. Yes. So when we say that we need direction in life you will never find in Maya because everything will look attractive. But when you listen to your conscious, you will know that okay, this my ऐसे बोलते हैं ना मन बोलता है ये करना, तो आप फिर वो करोगे तो ही आपको सक्सेस मिलने वाला है. So success is not about having some n amount of money or n amount of houses or anything. Success is satisfaction. Success is peace. If you are getting satisfaction and peace in whatever you are doing today, you are already success. You are already in success. Correct? You are successful. In contact with material energy, the spirit soul acquires material modes. Yes, there are three modes in material. One is good, one is passion, and one is ignorance. Three modes of material nature. Now, whatever nature we acquire from our past lives or past karmas is what our body is made of. So, if your karma, that is your soul karma, are in ignorance, you will get a body of an animal in your next life. So, this is what they are trying to say. I'll repeat again. As such, the spirit soul has to be engaged in the good work of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it will be engaged in occupations dictated by the illusory energy. In contact with material energy, the spirit soul acquires material modes, and to purify the soul from such affinities, it is necessary to engage in the prescribed duties enjoined in the Shastras. Yes. So when you want to get purified from material modes of life, then yes, Shastra has given certain prescribed duties. If you follow, then gradually you will get purified. But if the soul is engaged in the natural function of Krishna consciousness, whatever he is able to do is good for him. Yes. The Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17 affirms this. In quotes, if someone takes to Krishna consciousness, even though he may not follow the prescribed duties in the Shastras or execute the devotional service properly, devotional service in Shastras is wake up at 3 o'clock, go in the lake, take a dubki and come back. For most of us, this is not possible. There is no lake around, and 3 o'clock, no one is going to go out because we are living in the yuga of Kali. Okay. But see the beauty. I'm reading in quotes. If someone takes to Krishna consciousness, even though he may not follow the prescribed duties in the Shastras or execute the devotional service properly, and even though he may fall down from the standard, there is no loss or evil for him. Yes. But if he carries out all the injunctions for purification in the Shastras, what does it avail him if he is not Krishna conscious? So, अगर उसने फिर भी कुछ नहीं किया जो शास्त्र में लिखा है, तो फिर उसका क्या जाता है? अगर वो कृष्णा कॉन तो फिर एक ही रास्ता बचता है उसके पास, टू बी कृष्णा कॉन्शियस, करेक्ट? उसके अलावा उसको कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. So the purificatory process is necessary for reaching this point of Krishna consciousness. Yes. Therefore, purificatory process given in Vedic literature, be given in Shastra, you can follow that, or you can directly take to Krishna consciousness and start following it from day one. Every day is a day one for us. Every day we start. Yes. Therefore, sannyas or any purificatory process is to help reach the ultimate goal of becoming Krishna conscious, without which everything is considered a failure. Yes. और अगर तुमने कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस तुमको नहीं मिला ये सब प्यूरिफिकेटरी सब करके सारा ऑस्टेरिटी फॉलो करके अगर फिर भी तुम्हें नहीं मिलता कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस तो फिर क्या ही मिला आपको ये सब फॉलो करके. ठीक है. And generally, I've seen, these pundits, these relatives who are very inclined to, following every little detail of, Vedic and, it is only to stage themselves. बट इन एक्चुअल माइंड अगर तुम बीच में अंदर सोच रहे हो कि मुझे इसको दिखाना है मुझे कितना पता है तुम वहीं पे यू फेल्ड. तुम किसी को दिखाने के लिए ये स्टेज लगा रहे हो कि मुझे इतना पता है ये ऐसे होना चाहिए वैसे होना चाहिए टेलिंग शोइंग डूइंग फॉर सेल्फ ग्रेटिफिकेशन. अगेन जब वो सेल्फ ग्रेटिफिकेशन ही नहीं रहेगा और फिर तुम करोगे ये सारी चीजें तो अपने आप आएंगी सारी. लेट्स मूव टू टेक्स्ट 6. One who restrains the senses of action but whose mind dwells on sense objects certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Yeah, like I was just saying that. Let's read the purport. There are many pretenders who refuse to work in Krishna consciousness but make a show of meditation while actually dwelling within the mind upon sense enjoyment. Such pretenders may also speak on dry philosophy in order to bluff sophisticated followers. But according to this verse, these are the greatest cheaters. For sense enjoyment, one can act in any capacity of the social order. But if one follows the rules and regulations of his particular status, he can make gradual progress in purifying his existence. But he who makes a show of being a yogi while actually searching for the objects of sense gratification must be called the greatest cheater, even though he sometimes speaks of philosophy. Although you know everything, but you still pretend and you um, don't implement in your life correctly, fully, 100%. Then it's like you are just, even if you know everything, it's of no use. It's a waste. Yes? His knowledge has no value because the effects of such a sinful man's knowledge are taken away by the illusory energy of the Lord. Such a pretender's mind is always impure and therefore his show of yogic meditation has no value whatsoever. Yes, that's what we said. Let's move to text 7. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. Yes. The simple thing, even then, that whatever we are doing, we stop attaching to the results of what we are doing will also make you a superior person. So we all are superior persons, but how can I tell that you are superior than me? So this is one small thing that we can do in our lives, that whatever we do, let's say somebody's teaching somebody or whatever we are in our day-to-day lives, we don't attach to the results of what we do. I'll give you a simple example. iPhone का factory है. The worker is making the iPhone, he is assembling the iPhone. अभी मैं बोलूंगी क्या कि आईफोन वो वर्कर का हो गया, वो पॉकेट में डाल के गया? नो, दैट आईफोन इज फॉर somebody else. It is to be consumed by the customers. You cannot say that ये मेरा है. Similarly, we are doing everything in our lives. We are doing it for Krishna, for God, because He has given us to do this and give it back to Him. Right? We cannot say that ये मैंने किया तो ये मेरा है. ये मेरा है. I should get accolades for it. People should recognize that it was done by me. No, you have to surrender it to God. You have to also mention whenever you even win anything, you have to mention it is God's grace that people are recognizing me. You're like, you know, काम. So there is a bhajan, like काम वो काम आप करते हो, नाम मेरा हो रहा है. You know, so आपके थ्रू मुझसे ये काम हो रहा है, इसलिए मेरा नाम हो रहा है. So let's read the purport. Instead of becoming a pseudo transcendentalist for the sake of wanton living and sense enjoyment, it is far better to remain in one's own business and execute the purpose of life, which is to get free from material bondage and enter into the kingdom of God. Yes. The prime Swartha Gati, or goal of self interest, is to reach Vishnu. Yes. The whole institution of Varna and Ashram is designed to help us reach this goal of life. A householder can also reach this destination by regulated service in Krishna consciousness. For self realization, one can live a controlled life as prescribed in the Shastras and continue carrying out his business without attachment, and in that way make progress. So, when you remove that attachment from whatever you are doing, you will realize that you are always happy. You are always calm. ठीक है, इतनी मेहनत की और आगे कुछ रिजल्ट नहीं आया या उसका कुछ फायदा नहीं हुआ तुम्हें रिटर्न में, दैट्स ओके. गॉड, इट्स गॉड्स ग्रेस. जब मैं सही से करूंगी काम, शायद तब मिलेगा, और चल शायद ना भी मिले, लेकिन मैं तो करती ही रहूंगी. उसके लिए थोड़ी कर रही हूँ कि मुझे कुछ मिले सामने, बट मैं जो कर रही हूँ उससे किसी का भला हो रहा है तो मैं करती जाऊंगी, क्योंकि यही तो है ना भगवान का. व्हाट दिस इज व्हाट गॉड वांट्स, कि वी सर्व गॉड, वी सर्व ह्यूमैनिटी, वी हैव टू बी इन सर्विस ऑलवेज. वी कैन नॉट क्लेम, वी आर नॉट ओनर्स. For self realization, one can live a controlled life as prescribed in the Shastras and continue carrying out his business without attachment, and in that way make progress. A sincere person who follows this method is far better situated than the false pretender who adopts show bottle spiritualism to cheat the innocent public. A sincere sweeper in the street is far better than the charlatan meditator who meditates only for the sake of making a living. Yes. Let's move to text 8. After text 8, we will end the session. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. Yes. Let's read the purport. There are many pseudo meditators who misrepresent themselves as belonging to high parentage and great professional men who falsely pose that they have sacrificed everything for the sake of advancement in spiritual life. Lord Krishna did not want Arjun to become a pretender. Rather, the Lord desired that Arjun perform his prescribed duties as set forth for Kshatriyas. Arjun was a householder and a military general, and therefore it was better for him to remain as such and perform his religious duties as prescribed for the householder Kshatriya. Such activities gradually cleanse the heart of a mundane man and free him from material contamination. So called renunciation for the purpose of maintenance is never approved by Lord, nor by any religious scriptures. After all, one has to maintain one's body and soul together by some work. Work should not be given up capriciously without purification of materialistic propensities. Anyone who is in the material world, I repeat, anyone who is in the material world is certainly possessed of the impure propensity for lording it over material nature, or in other words, for sense gratification. Such polluted propensities is like you that feeling that you want to get जो स्ट्रिंग जो स्प्रिंग अप होती है and the tendencies that we have to do it without doing so through such polluted propensities have to be cleared without doing so without clearing your polluted propensities your polluted way of life through prescribed duties one should never attempt to become a so-called transcendentalist renouncing work and living at the cost of others. Yes. ऐसे भी लोग होते हैं जो बोलते हैं मैं तो सिर्फ पूजा पाठ करूंगा आप लोग घर चलाओ. So this is for them anyway. So let's end here with Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare